Welcome to the 8 Castle tutorial for New Super Mario Bros. Wii Any%. In this tutorial, I'm going to start by explaining the entire level with ATC, and then at the end I will show off how to do normal fireballs. Let's go! So starting off here, we're going to just be jumping over these pits, very simple, and then we're going to line up a triple here. So how that works is you first start off by making sure you're running a bit on this platform, and then you're going to line up a double on the left side of this platform and then triple off the very edge of this last platform. Now, a way to make this a little bit easier is by doing a crouch instead to line up the double and the triple. However, this is not necessary. After you make the triple, you go ahead and run off this platform, land on the other platform, and jump off of the edge of it. So here, the easy strat is actually to do a slight wall slide on this wall. However, as shown here, there are other ways to do this section that are just as fast. The slowdown that we did in the first part allows us to jump through this second set of fire bars and then jump up these two semi-solid platforms, and we want to jump up them in just the right way so that we wait just long enough for the potaboo to move, and then we can go ahead and crouch through the potaboo. We cannot actually go below the potaboo with currently known strategies, as we are never fast enough. For this next section, you can run through this section with the skull platforms, and there is actually a rare chance to get a boost. In this part, we're just going to wait, and then we're going to build momentum, run through, and then run off that spin and land in the pipe. Now this section is very set in stone, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward it. For the last part of this section, you're going to spin, and then as soon as the third coin is fully visible, drill down and land in the pipe. Now we are at the checkpoint area. You want to enter the relative middle of this door so that you do not have to walk to the middle and then into the door, which is called an IL door. So we get an RTA door, and then these fireballs are random, but the first set is always dodgeable, just with a bit of practice. The second section, however, can have several different patterns. Here's one here, another one here, here's another one there, and finally this one here. You just need to react to all the different patterns. Next, we're going to spin over Bowser and down drill on the very left of the switch in order to optimally beat that section. Now for ATC, you want to start by holding down and left in order to be able to successfully stay in one place, but immediately start going left as soon as you spin. As Bowser's mouth has partially closed, shake your Wii remote, and then with the slight motion control delay on a Wii remote, you should spin right as Bowser's mouth fully closes. Based on how much spin delay you have on your Wii remote, this trick may vary. You have a 6-frame window for the spin in order for this to work. On different platforms like Emulator, timing may be different because of the lack of spin inputs. After you get the initial spin, you're going to want to keep holding left, and eventually Bowser will shoot a fireball. As soon as he's fully shot the fireball, make sure to not do this too early. You start holding right, down drill onto this platform, and then jump and spin up towards where the fireball is going. Based on how quickly you want to pull off this section, your methods may vary. However, the most safe and commonly accepted method is to spin slightly higher, quickly down drill, and set up to crouch and hold right into this little 1x1 hole. What this will do is it will allow Mario to be able to uncrouch into the wall. Now, walls in most Mario games push Mario to the right, so if we uncrouch while fully in this wall, we will get ejected right. It's worth noting that if you uncrouch too early, then you will simply slide back out of the wall to the left, where you could potentially line up and jump in again, but another fireball can often get in your way. So once you uncrouch, you want to actually crouch again, because otherwise it won't allow you to jump. But once you crouch inside of that little gap there, you can start spamming jump in order to go up, and you want to spam jump around 6 times. If you start jumping too late, you'll slide out of the right side of the wall and the trick will fail once again. So if you spam jump about 6 times, you'll end up on the top, and you want to start holding right and run. Now, as soon as the camera pans downward towards the escape section, you will get ejected out from the top. Now there's a couple of different methods you can do here. You can do a method called Sibby Spin, where you land on a platform with a spin, or you can land on the right side of the platform by doing a little bit of a turn back, and this method is hardly slower than Sibby Spin. However, both of them cause a certain crouch jump right here to be much harder, as the platform is further right, and it makes it much more difficult to time it correctly. If you land more towards the middle of the platform, this crouch jump will be much simpler. An alternative, faster way to get into the wall is to not down drill, but instead land perfectly, similar to some spins in 556, and quickly line up a crouch into the wall. However, this trick is much harder, and I would not recommend going for it in a run. I should probably clarify some of the platform movements. So once you jump, you want to jump on the bottom, stay near the bottom platforms, do this hard crouch jump, and then either triple jump or crouch jump in this part, and you want to do a small turn back to not bonk on the right wall, and then you want to do a spin and down drill onto this platform. It's worth noting there is a slightly faster strategy involving an instant land on the previous platform combined with a wall jump, but this trick is much harder and barely saves any time at all. After landing on this platform, you want to jump onto this platform and then this platform, and then you want to perform a spin under the ceiling just enough so that you accelerate upward through this section without having to wall jump, which is faster than doing 2 wall jumps or 1 wall jump. But if you feel uncomfortable doing this strategy, you can simply opt to wall jump, as it is not too much slower. It's worth noting that there is a relatively rare issue with this strategy, where if you start holding left at the exact same time you time your spin input, you can actually get your spin input entirely dropped. It was confirmed by the tasking community that this is actually code in the game that is not just based on your Wii remote, so make sure to start holding left after you spin. It is faster to land on this platform instead of falling onto this platform, but the difference is hardly noticeable. After you land on this platform, you want to jump on top of the small platforms until you eventually run off of this small platform and spin at a specific time in order to bonk on the ceiling just enough to only have a little bit of Y momentum left so that you can land on this platform, a strategy called Tommy Strat found by Ochguard, and make it to the end by just simply jumping off of it and jumping off the other platform onto the switch. Now, you don't need to go for Tommy Strat if you don't want to. You can simply spin later and slowly drift over to the right platform. This is slower, however. The switch is very interesting. You want to land on the side of the switch instead of the top of it, because it's faster. However, it's pretty easy to bonk. However, the switch's hitbox is a bit misleading, and landing anywhere in the top half should activate the switch. Now, you can obviously play a bit safer by doing a small turn back or landing on the middle of the switch, but be careful. If you land on the far right of the switch, it's actually possible to fall off of the right side and the run won't be counted as completed. Also, make sure to delay pressing your split until after you see Mario land from the switch, because it's possible to spin at the same time as hitting it, causing you to delay hitting the switch or in most cases die. Now, one last thing I'm going to explain in this video is how to do the fireball section without ATC, as ATC is a strategy which many people struggle with, so I think it's important that the strategy to do normal fireballs is well known. You start the strategy by hugging the right wall and then doing crouch jumps in order to aim Bowser's fireballs, and you could do full crouch jumps. Just make sure that you don't have running speed, otherwise they will be aimed incorrectly and cause you to fail. Now, if you keep just doing these crouch jumps every time you see Bowser's about to fire, you can look at his mouth as a visual cue. You will go ahead and make it through with 7 fireballs. However, if you get unlucky, you can still get swipes, which is a 1 in 4 chance that the strategy will simply not work correctly, as Bowser will swipe instead of shooting an extra fireball, which will make him take an extra second or so to clear the path. Now, this is not an issue with ATC, but if you're doing normal fireballs, this is about a second of uncontrollable time loss. However, it's more unlikely than likely, and it really doesn't lose that much time. Congratulations! You've now learned how to play 8 Castle in New Super Mario Bros. Wii as fast as the world record. Now, if you didn't understand anything or want further clarification on certain strategies, my DMs are open at CADSSR is my username on Discord, so go ahead and contact me if you want to. And you can always rewatch the video if you're trying to learn this in real time and want further clarification. Thank you for watching.